In the last class, I discussed about internal commands and external commands and how to check whether it is an internal command and external command, right? So today we'll discuss about system boot up. So as you all know what you mean by system boot up. So if you have a computer which has Unix operating system installed on it, then you simply need to turn on its power to make it live, right? So you just turn on your computer so that your operating system will be live. So as soon as you turn on the power, system starts booting up and finally it prompts you to log into the system, which is an activity to log into the system and use it for your day-to-day activities. So once after starting the system, uh, prompt will come. In that particular prompt, you have to enter username and password that you all know. See, normally Unix operating system asks user ID and the password. So if you have user ID and password ready, then only you can enter inside that particular system or you can work inside that system. Otherwise, you need to collect the user ID and password from the administrator. So first you have to type the user ID at the login prompt, then press enter. And your user ID is a case sensitive, so you be sure you type it exactly as your system administrator instructed. So after that, type your password at the password prompt, then press enter. Your password is also case sensitive. If your user ID and password are matching with the system, then only you are going to enter inside that particular system. Suppose if anyone is mismatching, at that time you cannot enter inside the system, means you cannot log into the system. So both are must. So without user ID and the password, you cannot log inside the Unix operating system. User ID and the password is a must. So this is a prompt. So here it will ask login in the sense user id, amroot is a user id, then amroot's password. So you have to type the password in front of amroot's password. At that time your system will be logged in. So this is a one simple sample command. So if you want to check the calendar of the current month, at that time you need to type the cal command. Cal command is a command which is used to calendar. It is just an example, right? So whole calendar will be displayed on the terminal, right? Suppose if you want particular month calendar, at that time you have to give cal space particular month, clear, of that particular year, then only that calendar will be displayed, clear. And if you want to display whole year calendars like from January 2020 to December 2020, in at that time you need to just give the year in front of the cal command, that is cal space 2020, so that entire year calendar is going to display. Like this you can display the calendar using a cal command. It is just an example. So next we'll discuss about change password. So all Unix system require a password to help ensure that your files and data remain your own and that the system itself is secure from the hackers and crackers. So without having password, you cannot log into the system. That is a uh, security things we are using. Clear. So without using a password, you cannot log inside the system. So that if you are giving a password while logging to the system, at that time the data will be protected or the data will be secured from the hackers as well as from the crackers. So here are few steps to change your password. So you can change your password at any time. Clear. So using the command called passwd, that is a command which is used to change the password. So type passwd, nothing but password, at command prompt as shown below. Enter your old password which you are currently using. right? Whenever you are prompting for a password change, at that time you must remember the current password of your system. Then only you can able to change the password of that particular system. Without knowing the current password, you cannot change the password of your system. That's why you need to remember the previous password in order to change the password into new one. Clear? And type a new password, and always try to keep your password complex enough so that nobody can guess it, but make sure that you must remember that particular password. So you need to verify the password by typing it again. So new password must be given another time, so in order to verify whether the given password is proper or not. So this is how it looks. So after typing the password command, that is passwd, so it will allow you to change the password. So changing a password for Amrood. So changing a password for a user called Amrood. Clear? Then current Unix password. You have to give the current Unix password. After that, it will prompt you to give the new Unix password. Then retype new Unix password. Means you have to give the new password once again, so that password will be updated successfully. Clear? The password is going to change with the help of passwd command. So next we'll discuss about listing directories and files. So Unix is also having a command to list the number of directories and the files. Clear? So if you want to list the directories, you can list the directories of your system, or if you want to list the files, at that time you can list the files also. Clear? So all data in Unix is organized into files. As I already said, whatever the data we're having in a Unix system, that everything is arranged in terms of files. Clear? And again, all files are organized into directories. All files are organized into directories. These directories are organized into tree-like structure called the file system. So always in a Unix operating system, whatever the files we are having, all such files are arranged in a tree-like structure. Clear? So as I already shown in the previous to previous class, so how hierarchical file system is arranged, starting from the root to the directory, subdirectory, and files. Like this, in a hierarchical order, the file system will be arranged in the Unix operating system. So you can use ls command to list out all the files. Suppose sometime you are not knowing which all the files are there in a particular directory, or which and all the directories are there in your system. So you can list the number of directories, or you can list the all directories and files which are found inside your system using a command called ls. Ls is a command which is used to list the number of files or number of directories which are found inside your Unix operating system. Following is the example of using ls command with -l option. So ls minus l, so minus l is the option. So using that particular minus l option, so 7 different attributes are going to display. So if you are using only ls command, at that time it will display the list of files as well as directory which are present in your system. So if you are using ls minus l as an option, at that time 7 different attributes of that particular files are going to display. I will show you how it will be displaying. See, this is ls space minus l is the option. So ls minus l. So here you observe in the first column. So there is a word called, there is a character called D. It means that that is a directory file. If the character D appears in the first column, it means that that is a directory file. So in the second line, there is a hyphen. Clear? Nothing but that is a ordinary file. Nothing but it is a common file. It is not a directory. Clear? Understood? And next we are observing RWX, RWX, R hyphen X. Clear? In the first line you observe. After D, you all are seeing RWX, RWX, R hyphen C, R hyphen X. Clear? So here one is the first three characters are the permission of the particular super user, means permission of the owner. So owner is having a permission to read the file, write the file and execute the file. Clear? Next column indicates group owner. Group owner is having a permission to read the file, write the file and execute the file. And last three characters indicates the permission for a user. It's a common user. He is a common user. He is not a group owner. Clear? So common user is having a permission to read and execute. Means he is not having a permission called write. Means user cannot be able to edit that particular directory, or user cannot be able to remove that particular directory, because write permission is not given for the user. That's why this particular operating system is more secured. So that's why you can restrict the permission for the user. Suppose unknowingly, sometimes if the people, sometimes if the people intentionally want to delete the files, clear, at that time, if you are not giving a right permission for that particular user, at that time he cannot modify or he cannot delete such files. Clear? So that's why uh, you can change the permission by logging into the super user mode. Root user can change the permission, means nothing but a owner can able to change the permission at any time. According to the owner permission, he or she can access the data. Clear? Then third third column indicates the number of links. 21221811111. These are all the links related to that particular file. How many links are there, or how many number of directories with this with that particular file or files are found in your system. There are two directories which are linked to this particular directory. There are two files which are linked to this particular directory. And next is who name of the group owner and name of the owner, that is name of the user, that is amroot and amroot. Both the group owner and the username is remains same. In the when you are in a super user mode, at that time group owner and the user is going to become a root. When you are a normal user, at that time group owner and user become a amroot. Clear? So super user mode privileges are different than the normal user. So whatever the privileges we are having in a super user mode, same privileges will not be there for normal user. There are a lot of restrictions for the normal user. And this 4096 5341 4096, that is the size of the file. Then uh, December 25 9 59, that is date, month and time. And last one is a name of the file, that is uml.jpg, unu url speed ia. So uml is a directory, uml.jpg is a file. Like this, 7 different attributes are being listed with the help of ls minus l option. So whenever you want to display the 7 different attributes of that particular file, at that time we have to use ls minus l option. Otherwise, you can simply use ls. Clear? So what thing will be displayed when I am using only ls command? Only the last column is going to display. This is only this column is going to display. It is going to display. It is going to list the files or directories which are found in your system. Next, who are you? So sometimes we would like to know who am I. Clear? At that time, the system itself says yes, or the system itself displays your name. So sometimes we are going to forget the username or user ID. So username can be identified by using a command called as who am I. That is a command which is used to know the user, or which is used to know the current user of the system. Clear? Using a who am I command, we can display the user ID, or you can display the current user name. Sometimes we are willing to know the name of the logged in user. At that time we can use this particular command, that is who am I. So after typing who am I, it displays amrood. So this is a user name. So who am I is a command to know the current user of that particular system. And who is logged in? So Unix is a multi-user operating system. So more than one user can log into that system. So that if you want to know who and all logged in your system, at that time you can simply check that particular thing by using a command called users, or by using a command called who, or by using a command called w. Clear? Users is a command which is used to display the number of users or name of the users which are currently accessing that particular system. So dollar users, it is going to display three username, that is Amrud, Bablu, and Khadir. These are the three users who are accessing the system currently. Clear? So it will give the current users. It will display only the current users. So these three members are currently using the system. Nothing but the people who logged inside the system, such people name will be displayed using a command called users. Clear? Next, another command which is similar to that. So it gives some more details, like who is a command which displays the username like Amrod, Bablu, Khadir. Clear? Along with that, it will display the type of the terminal. So type 0, type 2, type 4. It is nothing but a type of terminal. And along with that, it is going to display the month, date, and time. And it is going to display the developer of that particular shell. So here TTYP0 is a some different shell, TTYP2 is a some different shell, TTYP4 is a some other different shell. So each and every shell will be developed by some other developers, like those developers name will be displayed. Means if you want to execute a who command, it will give the detailed information of that particular user. If you want to use only users command, at that time it will give only username. Clear? Or it will display only user IDs, right? Like Amrod, Bablu, and Khadir. So logging out. So after finishing your task inside the system, you must log out. Then only the session is going to complete. If you are logged into the system and you are not going to log out, at that time some unauthorized people can able to access your login things. Means they can access your files, they can access your data. That's why when after completing the task, you must log out from the system. So by using a command called logout. So logout is a command which is used to log out from that particular system. Means other people cannot be able to access your system when you are logging out the system. So flexibility in using commands means there are flexibility which is given while using the commands, like combining the commands. You can combine more than one commands with the Unix operating system. Like in the top line, most of you are observing that $WC PR1 dot text semicolon ls minus l PR1 dot text. So here two commands are used consecutively, separated by the semicolon. Clear? WC is a command which is used for a word count, means how many words, how many lines, and how many characters are found in your particular file. So see here, first line indicates, first column indicates number of lines, second column indicates number of words, and third line indicates number of characters. Clear? Number of lines, number of words, and number of characters. So see here, 2 is a number of line, 5 is a number of words, and 27 is a number of characters. Clear? So that is the output we are going to get by using a WC command. Clear? So in pr1.text is a file name. Clear? So to that file name, I am going to check how many lines of data and how many words of data and how many characters of data is found in that particular file. That can be known by that particular command called as WC. WC is a command to get the word count, or by default it will display lines, number of words, as well as total number of characters. Clear? pr1.text. Next, which is separated by the semicolon, ls minus l. ls minus l is another command. So ls minus l pr1.text. See here, wc space pr1.text semicolon ls minus l pr1.text. Clear? So for the same file, we are using two different commands like wc and ls minus l. WC is a command which will give the output of pr1.text. What is the output of pr1.text? It is in the form of word count. Means how many lines of data are found in pr1.text, and how many lines, how many number of words are found in that pr1.text, and how many number of characters are found in that pr1.text. That output you are observing here. That is 2 lines, 5 words, and 27 characters are found in pr1.text. Consecutively, it displays ls minus l output of that particular file, that is pr1.text. So ls minus l pr1.text. Again, it is displaying 7 different attributes of that particular file called as pr1.text. Clear? So here, at the same time, you can execute more than one command inside the Unix operating system. You can execute single command at a time. You can execute more than one command separated by the semicolon. Clear? You can execute more than one command by separating the command the semicolon. So here, first wc is a command, pr1.text is an argument. Argument is nothing but it is a file name. Semicolon, ls minus ls is a command, minus l is an option, and pr1.text is a command. Clear? So as I already discussed about the format of the command, right? It contains command, it contains an option, and it contains a file name. So like that is the format of that particular command. Clear? So here we executed both the command at the same time, and each command is separated by the semicolon. That's why we are observing two different output. This is the output for a wc command, and this is the output for ls minus l command. Clear? See here, in the second example, 2 times wc command is used. That is wc space akash.text semicolon wc space pr1.text. Clear? So here it is a word count of akash.text, and second output is a word count for pr1.text. Same command can be used multiple times with a different argument. Same command can be used with a different argument which is separated by the semicolon. Clear? So here wc is the command, and here also the wc is command, but argument is different. That is akash.txt is a file name, and here pr1.txt is a file name. That's why you are observing two different things. See here, in the akash.txt, there are 4 lines, 15 words, and 73 characters. In a pr1.text, there are 2 lines, 5 words, and 27 characters. Like this, similar commands can also be executed multiple times with a different argument. There, that is the flexibility they are given in a Unix operating system. See here, command line can be overflow. You can type the things in a more than one line also. So the command line is not restricted to the single line. You can execute the things by in a multiple lines also by pressing the enter key. See here, dollar echo is a command, and I am typing in a double quote, that is, this is a 3-line text message. So after typing this is, I press the enter key, then a 3-line is typed. Again, after typing the 3-line, I press the enter key, then text message is typed. So this is a 3-line text message. So you can type the things in a multiple lines also. Clear? So here echo is a command which is used to display the typed thing. Echo is a command which is used to display the typed thing. So here, in order to check the output of this particular command, we need to break the command line. That is by pressing Ctrl Z. After breaking the command line, you can able to display the output in a output screen. That is, this is a 3-line text message. Whenever you want to type the text message, whenever you want to print the text message, at that time, the message has to be printed in a double quote. Clear? At that time, the same message will be displayed on a output screen. So if you want to, you have to break the command line interpreter. So for that purpose, you have to press the Control Z. Clear? Using Control Z, you can break the command line interpreter. After breaking the command line interpreter, whatever the message you typed followed by the echo command, the message will be displayed as a output. That is, this is a 3-line text message. Clear? See here, you can type multiple lines also, not only 3 lines. You can type 10 lines or you can type 100 lines. Clear? By pressing the enter key, you can break the lines at any moment of the terminal or at any place of the terminal, and you keep on typing the message in a double quote, and that message will be displayed by pressing Ctrl Z as a key. When things go wrong, so sometimes things go wrong while typing the command or while typing the file name. Clear? At that time, terminal is not going to behave properly. Suppose if something goes wrong, or suppose if something is not found. Clear? At that time, you want to terminate from the command prompt. You want to terminate from the command prompt and you want to retype the things again. Right? So at that time, either you can break the line, or you can break the entire, you can kill the line, or you can break the entire line. If something goes wrong, means you need to retype the thing freshly, right? At that time, you can break it by using Control D, or you can break it by using Control plus Z. Clear? Control D and Control Z are the keyword which is used to break the command line. So suppose if something goes wrong, at that time system is not behaving properly, at that moment you can break that particular command line using Control D as well as Control Z. Also you can kill the line by using Control U. You can kill the line means you can erase the entire typed line using a shortcut as Control U. And here backspace is not going to work in the Unix operating system. The backspace is not going to work. If you want to remove a character by character, either you need to press the Control H or you need to press the delete key. Backspace is not going to work. Control H or the delete key. Using Control H or delete key, you can delete the character by character. Or if you want to remove the entire line which is typed by you, you can use Control U. Or if you want to restart the command prompt once again newly, at that time you can either use Control D or you can either use Control Z. At that time, command prompt will begin once again. Clear? So there you can start typing the command freshly. This is the thing which is going to be useful when the things goes wrong. So knowing the user terminal. So about TTY. So print the file name of the terminal connected to the standard input. So it is going to print the type of the terminal. So if you want to know which terminal you are using, there are various types of terminal depending upon the type of the shell what we are using in a Unix operating system. So you can simply use TTY is a command to know your terminal. So tty is a command which is used to know your terminal. So that command can be used along with the option. So minus s, hyphen silent, hyphen quiet. So it print nothing, only return an exit status. So whenever you are using these options, that is hyphen s, hyphen silent, hyphen quiet, means the command is not going to invoke at all. The command is not going to invoke at all, means it is not displaying the type of the terminal. It is just exiting the status, means it returns to the previous status, that is in a command, that is as a command prompt. If you want to use only tty command, it displays the output. If you are using tty followed by hyphen s, hyphen silent, or hyphen quiet, at that time that command will silently come out from the exit status. That command will silently come out from the exit status without executing that particular command. And you can use hyphen help to display the help of tty command. So you can use hyphen version, so to display the output version of that particular command. So what is the version of the terminal, and what is the use? Suppose if you want to know what is the use of tty command, at that time you can use tty space hyphen help. So that will display the help regarding tty command. And also you can use tty space hyphen version, that will display the version of that particular terminal what we are currently using in your system. So example, so see here, $tty, running tty by itself will display the current tty session as shown below. See here, so this path will be displayed /div /pts/0. So from this particular path, your terminal is being executed. So this is the, if you are using a first terminal, at that time that terminal will begin with 0. If you are a first user and you are going to use the terminal at very first time of that particular system, at that time that terminal number is going to begin with the 0. Suppose if you want to execute more than one terminal in the same system, at that time this count is going to increase, like div /pts terminal is found in this particular path, that is div /pts. Clear? So if it is the first terminal, it begins with the 0. If it is the second terminal, it begins with the 1. If it is a third terminal, then it begins with the 2. Like this, multiple terminals can be able to open in a single system. That is the advantage of the Unix operating system. So about STTY, changes and prints terminal line settings. So description, STTY displays or changes the characteristics of the terminal. So using STTY, you can change the characteristics of a terminal. Means characteristics in the sense, initially there will be some default characteristics and you want to change the characteristics according to you. At that time, you can change the characteristics using a command called STTY. Characteristics in the sense, suppose if you want to remove a character, at that time we are going to press a delete key. Clear? That is a default characteristics of a terminal. Clear? If you want to change it with some other key, like instead of delete key, I want to set it to the shift key. Clear? At that time, you can change the terminal characteristics. Instead of delete, you can change it to the shift key. So that characteristics can be changed using a command called as STTY. So this is a command which is used to change the characteristics of the terminal. So in the TTY command, you cannot able to change the characteristics of a terminal. You can display the type of the terminal from where you are going to execute. But in the case of STTY, you can also change the characteristics of a terminal. In upcoming module, we'll discuss in detail about STTY. See, this is a STTY example. See here, second example you observe, because first example you cannot get. See here, STTY -echo. Clear? So it disables echoing of a terminal input. It disables echoing of a terminal input. Means echo command is not going to work with the terminal. stty hyphen echo. Clear? So terminal won't react with the echo command because you disabled that particular command using stty command, stty hyphen echo. So always you need to use hyphen to disable. Clear? Suppose if you want to make it as a enable, if you want to enable the command at that time, you can use that command along with the stty. Suppose here stty hyphen echo. Now the command is disabled. You have to press the enter key. stty hyphen echo, enter. So here echo command is disabled from that particular terminal. And you want to enable the same command once again. So again to enable that command, you need to type stty space echo. No need to type a hyphen. So that will enable the echo command to that particular terminal. See here. stty echo, which will re-enable echoing of terminal and input. So this will disable echoing of terminal input. Like this, you can insert multiple commands or you can remove the multiple commands from your terminal or with your terminal. It is left to you. So you can change the characteristics of that particular terminal at any moment of time using a command called stty. See here stty hyphen a. So it displays all current terminal settings. So whenever you want to change the settings of your terminal, you must know what is your current settings, right? So that can be known by using -a option. stty -a is an option which will allow you to display the current settings of your terminal. So by knowing the current settings of your terminal, you can change the settings easily, right? Without knowing the current settings, it will be difficult for us to change the settings of that particular terminal, right? So that's why you want to know the current settings of a terminal, you can use stty -a option. Clear? So that will display the current terminal settings. This is about terminal characteristics. Next, we'll discuss about root. Root is nothing but a super user. So root is the username or account that by default has access to all commands and files on a Linux or other Unix-like operating systems. Generally, a super user is referred as a root user. Means he is having access for everything. Root user or the super user is having access for everything. He can modify the entire operating system or he can change the settings of entire operating system. Why? Because he is a root user. Root user in the sense he is the owner of the system. Root is nothing but a owner of that particular system. Simply we can call him as a administrator. Administrator is known as a root user or he can also be called as super user. Super user is having all the privileges of the operating system than the normal user. That's why that particular user is called as root user or super user. So the root directory, which is the top level directory on a system. So normally we call directory as a root directory. So root directory is a top level directory on a system. That is, it is a directory in which all the directories, including their subdirectories and files, reside. The root directory is designated by a forward slash. That is, as I already shown while discussing with the hierarchical file structure. So root directory is a top level directory. From there, structure will start. From there, file system will start. Means that is a beginning of a directory. Nothing but it is a root. It is a root of a tree. Clear? So everything is depending upon the root. Clear? If something is modified inside the root, definitely rest everything get affected. Whatever the tree structure we are having, at that everything will be get affected if something goes wrong with the root. That's why root user is a very, very important user in a Unix operating system. Means he is having all the privileges. Means he can delete the entire data at any moment of time. That's why a owner can keep all his credentials with himself, so that privilege only less privileges are given to the other user. That's why root user is having he is nothing but a manager of a bank. Clear? He is nothing but a manager of a bank. He can uh, involve in all the sections, whatever he want. Clear? Clear? Because authorities are given to the manager. Clear? That's why he can involve in all the section of a bank. Clear? That's why root user is having authority to perform anything with the system. Root user is having authority to perform anything with the system. He can modify the system. He can remove the system. He can reinstall the system. Right? He can reinstall the operating system, or he can change the permission of the other user, or he can grant the permission to the other user. Everything is given. All most of the authorities are given to the root user. Clear? And root user can be identified by seeing the prompt called as hash. Hash is a prompt which identifies the root user. So most of the time you used to see the dollar prompt. Dollar prompt is the symbol which is going to identify the normal user. Root user contain a symbol called as hash. Clear? So with the help of su command, you can log into the root user. Means you can act as a root. For that purpose, you required root user login ID and root user password. Then only you can log into that particular. You can log in as a owner in that particular system. Without knowing owner password and owner name, you cannot able to log into that particular system. That's why super user is referred as a root user. See, SU, acquiring super user status. Using SU command, you can acquire a super user status. See here, SU is a command. Clear? Enter. So it will ask a password for super user. So it will ask a password for your owner. Right? So you need to give the owner password. At that time, hash prompt will appear. Clear? So means now you become a owner. The common user is going to become a owner by typing a su command followed by the password of the super user. At that time, hash prompt appeared. It means that you are a owner now. When the hash prompt appeared, at that time, the system identified you as a owner. Clear? So pwd is a command. So which is a command to know the current directory. So which is your current directory? See here, hash home, hash sh. This is your current directory. Means where you are actually resided. So that path will be displayed using pwd command. To know the current directory, you can use a pwd command. This pwd command is executed with the root user. So root user is also having a home directory, is also having a sh subdirectory. Clear? So prompt changes, but directory doesn't. Only the prompt is going to change, but directories are not going to change. So in the normal user also you will be finding home sh, but that is relevant to the normal user, and this is relevant to the root user. From super user access, we can switch to other user by giving super user name without password. You can log into the some other name without giving the password. Super user can log into the some other user using followed by su command space user name. So in which user you want to log in, right? Super user can be able to log into the some other user without knowing the password, but that is not possible for the normal user. Suppose some other users like X is a user, Y is another user, Z is a user. X, Y, Z are three users. Those X, Y, Z are created by the super user. Clear? So sometimes super user wants to delete the file of X, or super user wants to delete the files of Y, super user wants to delete the files of Z. He can directly move to the X or to Y or to Z, and he can perform anything over there without knowing the password. Right? Super user need not require normal user password to while doing the changes for the normal user. So that you must remember. So we'll discuss administrator privileges. So what are all the privileges which are given to the administrators? Means what are the privileges which are given to the super user? So change the contents or attributes of any file like its permissions and ownership. See, super user can change the contents or he can change the attributes of any file like its permissions and its ownership. He can change the ownership of the file. He can change the permission of the file. Anything can be done by the super user. And he can delete the file even if the directory is write protected. He can delete the file even if the directory is write protected. Clear? He can delete any file of your system. That's why if the super user password is lost at that time, definitely your system is in trouble. Clear? So if someone is known your super user password at that time, your entire system will be in trouble. Clear? Means he can access the things which are found in your system or he can delete the things which are found in your system. That's why you must be very careful while giving the super user password to some other user. Clear? Means he can do anything with that particular system. Clear? And he can initiate or kill any process. He can create a process or he can kill any process at any moment of time. He can change any user password without knowing the existing one. See, super user can change the user password without knowing the existing password. Clear? He can set system clock with the date. He address all users concurrently. He can address the other users concurrently using a command called wall. Clear? Wall is a command which is used to address the various users which are using that particular system. Address in the sense, suppose if you want to call a meeting for people who are currently using the system. Clear? At that time, he can pass the message to the multiple users who are using that particular system. With the help of wall command, he can pass a common message to all the users. Means each and every individual user is going to receive the message from the super user so that they can attend the meeting at the mentioned time. Clear? So he can limit the file size for each user. Super user is having a privileges to limit the size of the file for each users, and he can control overall access with the file transfer protocol as well. He can control overall access of the file transfer protocol. Clear? Means most of the controlling is given to the super user. That's why we must be very careful while giving the super user password to some other people. See, this is about date setting. See here, super user can set the date according to his need. Clear? Normal user cannot able to set the date. Only super user having a privilege is to set the date. He can change the date at any time. Clear? So at that time, that date is going to fix in your system. You cannot modify. Normal user cannot modify. When the super user change the date using a command called date space 01092, that is wrong. It is 212120. That is wrong. That is 2016. Clear? So what happened in the initially super user changed the date as January 9th. That is the time. So January 9, 2120, that is the time. Clear? 2120 is the time, and that is given followed by the month and the date. Clear? So at that time what happens, month date along with the time is changed with the date command. Clear? Very next he again wants to change the time. So how many times he want to change? He can change the date and he can change the time using a command called date. Date is a command which is used for a if you are using only date, at that time it will display the current date followed by the current time followed by the current year. If we are if you are using a date command followed by some other arguments like 01 is an argument which is specific, which is for a month of that particular year, and 09 is the argument which is for a date of that particular month, and 2120 is a time which is the time for that particular day. Clear? Like this, various things used along with the date command. At that time, thing will be get affected followed by the date command. If you don't want to change the things, at that time simply you can use the date command by giving only date. Clear? Date enter, at that time current date and current time will be displayed. If you want to know the date of your system, simply you can type date, press enter, so that current date and current time will be displayed. So this is about first chapter of your first module. So do you have any doubts regarding first chapters?
No, sir.